Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Salamun alaikum, friends. I'm so happy that you're here. What was the first thing I said before I said Salamun alaikum? I said Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, which means in the name of Allah, the most kind, the most merciful. Did you know Allah has 99 names? And out of which 2 of the names are mentioned in Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The 2 names that are mentioned in Bismillahirrahmanirrahim are Rahman and Rahim. Rahman means the most kind. Allah is very, very kind. And you see this chart here? In here, we're going to add those names of Allah that we learn. So today we're going to learn 3 names. The first is Rahman, which we hear in Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, which means Allah is the most kind. So Rahman, the most kind. And Rahim, the most merciful. Allah loves us so much. He is so kind and so merciful and so loving. So the other name of Allah is Ar-Rahim, most merciful. Now I want to tell you about another name of Allah, which is AL-KHALIQ, the Creator. Allah created everything. He created me, and He created you and your mummies and daddies, and He created animals and birds and trees and flowers and sun and moon and so many things around us. He is the Creator. He is Al-KHALIQ. Can you repeat that? Al-KHALIQ, the Creator. Now, what did we say last time? That Allah created us, He really loves us. And what did He do? After creating human beings, He wanted to guide us. He wanted us to learn. He wanted to teach us. So what did Allah do? What is one of the special things that happened in the month of Ramadan? Allah revealed the Qur'an. He revealed the Qur'an through Angel Jibreel to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam on a very special night called Laylatul Qadr, the night of power. And what is there in the Quran? We said the Quran talks about so many different topics, and it is a guidance for us. It is teaching us so many things. So I want us to talk about one of the things that the Quran is talking about. We mentioned a few topics that the Quran talks about. Do you remember some of the topics we had mentioned that the Quran talks about? Who remembers? Yeah, can you name them? The Quran talks about prophets. The Quran talks about our world. We also said the Quran talks about animals, it talks about insects, it talks about fruits. So we're going to talk about one of those topics today, and that is our world. Allah created our world, and what do we see in our world? We talked about sun and moon, trees and flowers. There's so many things around in our world, and we're going to talk about one of those things, and that is, I have my box here that has all the activities to do with our world, and one of the things that we're going to talk about in our world is the sun. Okay? So Allah created the sun. Who knows what sun is in Arabic? because the Qur'an is in Arabic. So when Allah is talking about the sun in the Qur'an, He uses the Arabic word for it. The Arabic word for sun is Shams. Can you say Shams? Shams means sun in Arabic. What is the first sound you hear in the word Shams? I hear the sound shh. Have you heard your mommies sometimes tell you shh, keep quiet, shh, talk softly? That's the sound we hear in the word Shams. The first sound is shh. Let's look at what shh looks like in Arabic. This is what shh looks like in Arabic. And the name for this letter is Sheen. This says Sheen. Sheen makes the sound sh, sha. Can you say that? Sh, sha. And the name is Sheen. Now I need help. I have a card and I need you to help me find all the letters that say Sheen. Okay? Can you find Sheen? So we have a big one here. And then let's see if we can find the letters Sheen in this line here. Oh, I can spot one. And there is another one. Can you find any more Sheen? Is this Sheen? No, it doesn't have the 3 dots. Oh, there is another Sheen. And another one. Can we count how many letters Sheen did we find? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the letter Sheen. It makes the sound sh, sha. And the Arabic word for sun is Shams, which begins with the letter Sheen. Now, we said that Allah has talked about the sun in the Quran and the word is Shams. Did you know there is a whole surah in the Quran called Surah Shams? And you are going to help me recite the first verse of Surah Shams. Are you ready? Okay. You're going to hear me once and then you can recite the second time. Okay?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والشمس وضحاها by the sun and its brightness.
Now you can recite with me. Okay?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والشمس وضحاها by the sun and its brightness.
So, Allah created the sun and He talks about it in the Quran. And we said what? By the sun and its brightness. The sun is very bright. What is the sun? The sun is like a big ball of fire. It's a star and it gives us light. Is the sun important? Yes, it is very, very important. The sun gives us so many benefits. Let's talk about some of the benefits of the sun. Okay. The sun helps the plants to grow. Did you know the plants need sunlight in order to grow? So Allah is so kind and merciful that He created the sun, and the sun helps the plants to grow. So that's one benefit of the sun. The sun also gives us daytime. Because it is so bright, it gives us light and we have daytime. And what happens when the sun sets? It is nighttime. And what happens when it's night? It's very dark then. And then we have to turn on the lights at home, or we have to turn on the lamps. And if we don't have electricity, sometimes we have to turn on candles so that we can see, because it is so dark at night, because there is no sunlight. So the sun gives us light, it gives us daytime. The sun also gives us energy. We need energy in order to do anything. In order to walk, run, play, in order to do anything, we need energy. The sun gives us the energy to do work. The sun gives us vitamin D, or you can say vitamin D. We need vitamins in our body to grow and to help our body to do so many things. The sun also gives us warmth. It gives us heat. So there are so many benefits of the sun. See, Allah is so merciful. He created us, He created plants, He created animals, and then He created other things that help us, like the sun. It gives us so many benefits. Allah is so kind and merciful. So I have an activity here, and I showed you the pictures. Now you're going to help me match the correct picture with what it says on this card. Okay? So the first one says, helps plants grow. Which picture can we match there with helps plants grow? Yes, this is the one. Helps plants grow. That's what the sun does. The sun also gives us day and night. Which picture shows us day and night? Day and night. Gives us energy. Yes, this is the one. Gives us energy. Gives us vitamin D. Oh, this one says vitamin D. And gives us warmth. That's the one. So these are some of the benefits of the sun. Now I have another activity for you. So we're doing some activities together, and then you can ask your mummies or daddies or any adult at home who can help you print those activities out so you can do them on your own, or you can do them with someone at home. Okay, I'm just showing you how to do some of these activities. So we did benefits of the sun. Now we're doing a sequencing activity. Sequencing is where there is a pattern, and a pattern is something that's repeating. So you're going to help me find the pattern. What comes next? Okay, so here we have the sun, and these are the sun's rays. And let's find the pattern here. We have orange, yellow, orange, yellow, orange, yellow. What comes next? Orange, yellow, orange, yellow, orange, yellow, orange. So orange comes next. And then what comes after orange? We have orange, yellow. So orange, yellow. What comes next then? Orange, yes. Orange, yellow. And orange. See? So that's a pattern. It's repeating. Orange, yellow, orange, yellow, orange, yellow. Yeah, so you know what comes next then. I have one more activity for you. You're going to watch how I do this activity, and then you're going to do it with someone at home, okay? This activity is called pin pushing. So we have some pictures here, and you see this border. What's in black? That's the border. And we're going to use a pin to push around in this border, and later on, once you have done the pin pushing around the whole border, you'll be able to take this picture out. Okay, and then you can stick it somewhere. So for this activity, you will need a pin. Now make sure you're doing this with an adult at home, because we have to be very careful when we're using things like these. These are sharp objects, and we don't want to hurt ourselves or hurt people around us when we're using these. So make sure when you're doing this activity, you have an adult around. Okay, we're going to use a pin, so it could be something like this, or a push pin. Okay, and you need a base so that when you're pushing the pin through the picture, you're not damaging the surface that you're working on. You don't want to spoil the table or the cloth that you have underneath. So you need something that you can put the paper on. You can make something out of cardboard. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. Okay, or you can have a very thick sponge around. See, this is also stuck behind a cardboard, and then you're going to place your paper on it. So I'm going to use the sponge one, because maybe a lot of you may have this at home, so you can make something like this to put your paper on. I'm going to put my paper on it, and you can watch how I do the pin pushing. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to hold your pin before you start pin pushing. Okay, you only need 3 fingers for that, and I'm going to show you which 3 fingers. So I want you to hold your hand like that in a fist. Okay, and then show me 1, 2, and then your thumb. Those are the 3 fingers you need to hold the pin. And I'm going to use the smaller pin just in case most of you have this kind of pin at home. Watch how I hold the pin. So that's how you hold the pin, with only 3 fingers. And then you gently press with one thumb down, and now you're trying to get that picture out. So very gently you're going to start pulling on the other side as you hold your picture with the thumb, so that you don't rip the picture. And there you have it. That's your picture. Now you can stick it somewhere, or when we talk about other topics, maybe you can have a paper of your own that says our world. And then as we talk about the different things in our world, you can stick those images on that paper. Okay? So we learned about a few benefits of the sun. Now I want you to try an experiment. Remember I mentioned experiment in my last video? An experiment is to try something out to see what happens. So I want you to do this experiment with someone, an adult at home, and you can find out what happens. So I'm going to give you 2 options, 2 different experiments to try. You can try both of them, or you can try one of them and find out what happens, and then discuss with your family what happened. So the first experiment is, I want you to take 2 or 3 different pieces of clothes. Okay? So I have my hijab here, which is a very thin piece of cloth. If you have a handkerchief which is much smaller and it's thin, then you can use a handkerchief. But if you don't, then try and use a very thin piece of cloth like a hijab. If you're taking your mommy's hijab or even your hijab, make sure you ask for permission first. Okay, so one very thin piece of cloth, and then you can take one dishcloth, okay, that we use in the kitchen or for cleaning, and one small hand towel. Now again, my hand towel is probably bigger than what you may have, but it's a towel material, okay? And then you're going to put them in a bucket of water. So you put them in the bucket of water and wet them. It's like you're trying to wash them. And then remember to wring it out. You want to squeeze all the water out from the different towels and handkerchief and dish towels, whatever the 3 different materials are that you're using. Squeeze all the water out and then dry it out in the sun. Hang it to dry. So if you have a laundry line outside, or if you have a laundry rack or something, you can lay it down, maybe on the grass if you have a good area outside your home. But find a place where you can get sunlight and hang it to dry. And then I want you to make an observation. An observation is you checking out what is happening to each piece of cloth. After you hang them out to dry, make a hypothesis. A hypothesis is a guess. So you're going to guess which one is going to dry the fastest. So you make a guess and you can write it down. I think maybe the dish towel is going to dry faster than the other 2 materials. Whichever one you think is going to dry first and fastest, you make a hypothesis, make a guess to see which one is going to dry first. And then keep checking after maybe every 15 minutes or 30 minutes. You can have an adult help you keep time so that you can keep checking. And then you write down what actually happened. Was your guess correct? Which one dried first? And then discuss with your family why the material that dried first. What was the reason? Was it smaller? Was it thinner? So you do this experiment and discuss with your families. The second experiment I have for you that you can try is you can take 2 same pieces of cloths and you do the same thing. You wet them in water, wash them out, squeeze all the water out to make sure that there is no water remaining. It's still going to be wet. And then you dry one out in the sunlight and one dry indoors where there is no sunlight. And then again, make a hypothesis, make a guess. Which one is going to dry faster? And then make an observation. Keep checking after every few minutes and see which cloth dried faster. The one that was out in the sunlight or one that was inside where there was no sunlight. Okay, so the sun is very beneficial for many things. Did you know, long time ago, and even today, people who don't have machines to dry their clothes, like some of us have dryers at home, where we have washers where we wash our clothes and then we put them in the dryer to dry them. But there are people who don't have dryers. How do they dry their clothes? They dry them out in the sunlight. Now you find out whether clothes dry faster in sunlight or whether they dry faster when there is no sunlight. Do the experiment and discuss it with your families, and you can let us know if you're able to. Let us know if you tried the experiment and what were the results. Now I have a rhyme for you. It's about the sun, and inshallah you will learn some of the things that we get from the sun and who created the sun.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والشمس وضحاها. By the sun and its brightness. What is the sun? What is the sun? What is the sun, everyone? It's like a big ball of fire shining brightly on everyone. What is the sun? What is the sun? What is the sun, everyone? It's like a big ball of fire giving light to everyone. What is the sun? What is the sun? What is the sun, everyone? It's like a big ball of fire giving heat to everyone. What is the sun? What is the sun? What is the sun, everyone? It's like a big ball of fire giving energy to everyone. What is the sun? What is the sun? What is the sun, everyone? It's like a big ball of fire giving daytime to everyone. Who made the sun? Who made the sun? Who made the sun, everyone? Allah Al-KHALIQ, the Creator, made the sun and everyone.
I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Khuda Hafiz.
What is the sun? What is the sun? What is the sun, everyone? It's like a big ball of fire shining brightly on everyone.